Welcome everybody from the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have you here today once again. We are looking at our urban parking system repository that's been designed and developed in Enterprise Architect, and over the last few videos we've been looking at various ArchiMate viewpoints, and we're going to continue that tradition once again today, looking at the resource map viewpoint. So my name's Scott Hebbard. I'm joined by Stephen McGuire. Welcome, Stephen. What can you tell us about the resource map viewpoint and how it's used in Enterprise Architect?
Thanks for the introduction, Scott, and always glad to be here. The resource map viewpoint allows business architects to create a structured overview of the resources of the enterprise. And these can be related to capabilities and related to work packages. So a little bit of flexibility in the way that you can organize these elements in this viewpoint. But let's dive into it, Scott, and we'll, as always, go to the top right-hand corner of our application and look at the perspective sets. I've been doing some work with the data miner to import some information from other sources, including Excel and some XML schemas. So I'm going to drop that down now, and the perspective set that I want is the enterprise architecture perspective set, and I want to choose ArchiMate. The tool changes its focus to ArchiMate. You can see the builder page now has a list of patterns that are built up here, and we can expand some of these to look at the particular viewpoints. So the viewpoint that we are looking at now is this resource map one. So let's have a look in here and see look at the places we can find this. So on the strategy group there, the strategy viewpoints, we can see the resource map viewpoint. Selecting that brings up a document, some documentation about how to use this viewpoint, and it's got all sorts of things about the tools and references to the help system to allow you to read about that particular viewpoint. It also has a starter model in it, Scott, and you can see the diagram there. If you were to click on the Create Model button up here in the top right of that panel, it would inject that model into your repository. But we want to start from first principles, Scott, but I do encourage people to return to this builder page and these patterns and inject these viewpoints in, and you get the productivity gain from getting a head start on the work where it's created a lot of elements for you. So I'm going to close the builder page and start from first principles, and we're going to go and inject this into our repository here. So we've got urban parking system, enterprise architecture. We want to look at business architecture, and let's drop that down. You can see we've got a range of other viewpoints there already, but we want to create now this resource map one. So let's click on that business architecture node in the browser there. We'll go up to the toolbar and create a new package by selecting the new package icon in the browser toolbar. That brings up a dialog box. I'm going to simply type in resource map viewpoint and click on that. That will create the package for me. And I'm going to create a diagram now by selecting the new diagram icon in the toolbar. That brings up a list of diagram types here for ArchiMate. I have the ArchiMate perspective set in the top right-hand corner there. And so that's the perspective that's being shown. You can see now that I've got a list of diagram types. I can expand this now, and we'll see that we can look at the resource map diagram. Choosing that one, Scott, is a useful thing to do because it will restrict the number of elements that are displayed in the toolbox. Let's do that and see how that works. I select the Create Diagram button up here, and that creates the diagram for me. I've now got a blank canvas that I can start my work, and the toolbox has changed the pages to be the structural relationships that I can use. But more importantly, down here under the resource map group here, we've got capability, resource, and work package. So a very limited set of the type of elements that you might want to use. ArchiMate is not prescriptive. It is descriptive about the kind of things that you might want to put into your viewpoint, and the capability, resource, and work package are the core ones. But as always, Scott, you're free to change the viewpoint yourself and put other elements in if you want to. Let's get started.
Enterprise Architect makes it easier for you, but if you really wanted to, you could switch to a different toolbox and add things where necessary.
Exactly right, Scott. So let's start here by putting the notes in for this resource map viewpoint. And these have come from the ArchiMate spec. It can be used to as heat maps to identify areas of investment. In some cases, a resource map may also show relationships between resources and the capabilities they are assigned to. So that's exactly what we are going to do. Scott, we want to focus in this particular example on the capabilities and the relationship to the resources. So what we're going to do is we're going to reuse some elements that we had in our capability model. So just to refresh people's minds, if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to go back and look at it. We've got a capability map viewpoint here in the repository browser, and I can open that one up and I can see that we have got a whole lot of nested capabilities there. Now, if I open up that diagram, Scott, I can see now that we have a range of different elements. They're all nested underneath, so they're all capabilities and they're all nested inside each other as part of a sort of a map or a structural relationships there. So one of the ones that I want to get is this financial performance, and I want both these elements, the revenue forecasting and the payment type analysis, as my capabilities. So all I can do is simply select that one there and select the other elements as well. So the three of them. I'm going to go hit the Control C key on my keys on my keyboard, Control copy that. I'm now going to go back into my resource map viewpoint, click in there and paste that in. So what I'm doing now is reusing those elements from the capability model. The other thing I'm interested in is compliance monitoring. So I'm going to look in here and you can see that compliance monitoring is another capability, again, with two nested capabilities underneath it. So I simply select those ones and all three of them, hit Control C on my keyboard, and again, paste these into this diagram.
And how do you select the multiple elements to make sure that they're all together?
Yeah, Scott, I'll go back and show you that. If I can lasso elements like this, I can just go, look, I want to lasso them. But what that will do is lasso everything that came inside that selection square. So the other thing I can do is I could turn things off by turn that one off and turn that one off. Say I just wanted those three. But an easy thing to do, Scott, is to hold down the Control key and select those ones there. And that's going to select all three of them for me. So I'm reusing those elements, and we've got them now on our resource map viewpoint, and I can move them anywhere I want. And you notice that Enterprise Architect is doing the work for me. One, it's moving the nested elements as well. They're not changing their location with respect to their parent element there, but there they are there. And I can align these elements quite easily. If I just look at this, you can see the alignment is going on there and the spaces between them are what I want. And so now let's put in some resources. I'm going to create these resources from scratch. I don't have the kind of resources that I want in any other part of the model. So let's put a resource in, and let's say this is a payment transaction log. So we'll say it's logs there, and we'll relate this one to the capability. So we'll say that this transaction log, this resource, is serving. It helps in some way this capability. So we'll say it's serving there, and we can line those elements up. Just simply multi-select them there, again using that Control Select and using the alignment tools, and line them up. Of course, Scott, I could have done that easily like this as well, just to show you that the smart alignment there works for us. And let's put in a work package now, but we need to put in some information about this payment transaction log. So we'll put some notes into those. Remember, this is a best practice that you should be following. It's putting notes in as you work along. So it stores details of all parking payments, including method cash, card, and digital amount, and time of the transaction is crucial for revenue tracking and financial reporting. So revenue forecasting, you can see that relates to that topic. And let's now put in a work package. So we'll put in a work package here.
What do you mean by a work package?
Well, Scott, a work package is a piece of work that you're undergoing. So, in an initiative, you've got all sorts of different different projects going on, and those projects have got work packages. It might be a sprint, it might be some other designated part of a particular initiative. So the opportunity is to use it to work with your particular organisation in the way that they do their project management. So let's drop it on the screen there, and we'll say it's an analytics upgrade. So it's some sort of upgrade in the analytics space, and we'll say that this one realizes that there. So we'll put that element under there. And now, Scott, we've made a pretty good start on our resource map viewpoint, and you can see that the essential thing is that we've got resources that we're listing, and we've got notes in those, and they are related here to the revenue forecast capability as in a serving relationship there. So let's get you to do some of your time travel magic, and I will finish off the diagram, and we'll be back here in a few seconds.
Welcome back, everybody. I've done a little bit of video editing, time travel magic, and we now have our completed resources map viewpoint. So, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about what this diagram's hoping to achieve?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Good to be back here. So the essential thrust of the diagram is it's relating resources to capabilities. So it's showing where these resources are used, and we've taken some particular capabilities out and some particular resources. So we've got payment transaction logs, parking meter data, AI and machine learning algorithms, analytics platform. So a broad range of resources there. And then we have them related to work packages. So the work packages that are going to be using them or realizing them. So we also have how these resources relate to particular capabilities. So this AI and machine learning algorithms are related to both violation trends and also to enforcement efficiency. Payment type analysis, we could put another connector in between that, and I'll simply show how to do that. I'll simply click on the quick linker, drag into the middle of that object over there, and let's be serving there. And I can put some waypoints in here. All I'm simply doing is I can put those in by bending the line of the cursor there, Control Q, and I can also just put them in by holding the Control key down and clicking on the line. So with that done, I'll move that over there and bend this line a little bit, and you can see this one's got lots of things targeting it. So we need to make a bit of room for that there. We can move some of these connector lines over. Enterprise Architect is incredibly flexible like that, and that gives you a little bit more space there. So that's the thrust of the resource map view. Remember, it is all about the resources, and the resources can be of of different types. You can see that we've got things ranging from machine learning algorithms to transaction logs to an analytics platform. So they can be quite varied, but a very useful diagram, Scott, and I encourage people to create the resource map for their own projects, initiatives, or their teamwork.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate the comprehensive overview of the resource map viewpoint. It's great to see it all come together. As always, to our audience, it's been great for you to join us today. We really appreciate your time and effort in watching these videos, providing feedback. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. If you have any questions about the resource map viewpoint or ArchiMate in general, you can feel free to reach out to Stephen Maguire using the credentials listed in the video description below. His website details and LinkedIn details are there for you to find. Thanks, Stephen, for your expertise once again. Always appreciate it. You make it look very, very easy in Enterprise Architect, and you're certainly showcasing your ArchiMate expertise. So thank you once again.
Always a pleasure to be here, Scott.